Hi everyone, it's Mr. Tristan, and welcome to episode 5 of our Survivor 50 recap. So the episode starts off with the Vatu tribe coming back from tribal council after just voting out Mike, and Ozzy starts to throw his little temper tantrum, which Ozzy's done pretty much every season. And it's just like old news. I mean, I feel like Ozzy should know, because he's been playing this game for about 20 years, that this is all part of the game. I mean, Jonas from Survivor One World once said, if you're not expecting to be blindsided, you really haven't done your homework on the show. So Christian tries to play damage control by saying, like, it had nothing to do with Ozzy, which is kind of true. It really didn't have anything to do with Ozzy, but Ozzy is not listening in the least bit. Instead, he starts talking about how he wants to get Christian out next, and I'm just like, no, you're not. So we go to the Sela tribe, where Jonathan is feeling really good about the game because in his new tribe, he has 4 people from his OG tribe: himself, Dee, Charlie, and Camilla, leaving Rizzo, Cirie, and Rick. However, Jonathan feels good about Rick, so he was talking to Rick about, like, bringing him in with the 4, which I like, because I like Rick. And they started talking about wanting to go after Rizzo, because they know nothing about Rizzo, because like I said before, they've never watched his season. However, Dee does not really feel good about that, because she actually likes Rizzo, and she decides to go and talk to him about working with him, Camilla, and Cirie. And Rizzo pretty much confirms that he wants to by telling Dee that, he's worked with women his past season, and, he's not a guy's guy, which I can understand that. I mean, if I was on Survivor, chances are I would probably work with women, because I do get along very well with women. Would that be a very risky decision? Probably, but we'll see. By the way, if you had just noticed a little bit of a flicker here, I think the light bulbs in my room are kind of starting to, like, flicker a little bit, so probably gonna have to change that up. Oh, and another thing, Rizzo tells Dee about the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol, so there's that. On to Callo. Coach is continuing to build connections with people on his tribe. I mean, he even has a different nickname. Instead of the Dragon Slayer, he is now the Tide Walker. Coach says that instead of picking, like, Dungeons and Dragons type nicknames, he's, like, focusing more on, like, ancient Japanese folklore, which I thought was very interesting. He even has nicknames for Joe and Colby. So Joe is the Stonebell Monk, and Colby is the Oak-bound Warrior. And watching this, I was like, I love this, because I know some people don't like that, this alliance between Coach, Colby, and Joe, it's like about, like, integrity and honor and stuff like that. But beyond that, I love Coach, I love Colby, and I love Joe. So those 3 working together, I love it. Meanwhile, Aubrey still wants to go after Genevieve after she found out that Genevieve is planning on going after her. So she goes to Coach in the hopes of, like, having him on her side. And of course, Coach accepts. So now Coach feels like he's in the middle of everything, but is hoping to not get too cocky, which is a good thing. If you get too cocky in Survivor, you're bound to go out. Now we go back to Sela. Charlie is still not over what Rizzo said about the fact that he said he didn't vote for his number 1 ally to win the game. So Charlie approached Rizzo and asked him who he told about the idol, and he just said just him and Dee. And then Rizzo asked Charlie the same question, and Charlie tells him that Jonathan was kind of suspecting anyone having an idol, so Charlie told him. I don't think that's even true, because I've never seen Jonathan ask anybody about the idol. And this is where Rizzo begins Operation Bad Blood. he goes to talk with Dee, and it's revealed that Dee does not trust Charlie. Rizzo also tells Dee that he does have one of the Billie Eilish boomerang idols because someone found it on Kahlo and gave it to him. Then they started talking about this plan where Rizzo, Dee, Cirie, and Camilla all get together to vote out Charlie. And now we get to the immunity challenge where we find out that only one tribe was going to win immunity and the other two tribes would go to tribal council. Wow. I was watching this and I was like, I really hope Vaatu wins because I do not want Christian to potentially be voted out. During the immunity challenge, Kahlo actually starts falling far behind, and eventually they caught up and they actually won the challenge, meaning Sela and Vaatu would be going to tribal council. Tiffany in the immunity challenge, like I saw her like unwrapping the rope around the bags and she's just like, I was like, whoa, holy moly. That might actually be the first time I actually saw Tiffany do something because Tiffany has not been doing much. The only other thing I've seen her do was warn Aubrey about Genevieve wanting to get her out. So we go back to Sela where Rizzo is talking to Camilla about the plan to vote out Charlie. And then Rizzo also tells Camilla about the idol. So at this point, Rizzo's just telling all the girls about the idol. And meanwhile, Rick starts to show his guns. Like he's just like, ugh. And then, ugh, ugh. That was really funny, not gonna lie. Meanwhile, Charlie is still ready to vote Rizzo out, and he goes to talk to Camilla, and he tells her about the Billie Eilish idol. Now, Camilla is contemplating who she's voting for. Meanwhile, on Vaatu, there's talks about Angelina being the vote, but they were going to tell Angelina that it's Stephanie. But Ozzy still wants to go after Christian because he's still upset about the fact that Christian went behind his back and voted out Mike. One thing that made me laugh is Christian called Ozzy a Polly Prissy Pants. I mean, hey, it's true. Okay, it's true. So during his talk with Christian, Ozzy asks Christian if he would be willing to give him his shot in the dark. Because if he did, then he would trust him. And as I'm watching, I'm like, Christian, no, you do not do it. Because if you give it to Ozzy, he could easily vote you out. Because you have no shot of trying to save yourself. So Ozzy tries to convince Emily that they could potentially get Christian out. And once again, for the third time in a row or fourth time, I've lost count how many times this has happened. Emily spills the beans to Christian. However, this is the one time Emily spilled the beans that I'm actually happy for because she's warning Christian about the vote. Meanwhile, Christian decides to cave in and give Ozzy his shot in the dark. And I'm just like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, I was like, if Ozzy still goes with his idea of voting Christian out, I would be super mad. Meanwhile, Angelina's talking about how she thinks she's in the middle between two duos, Ozzy and Stephanie, Christian and Emily. I don't think she had any idea. So before Sela goes to tribal council, Rizzo tells Cirie that he has the idol, and he's telling his tribe that he played very well in 49. I don't think that's a good idea, because you don't want to reveal how well you played. Meanwhile, Camilla is still deciding who she's going to vote for, because on one hand, she does not know Rizzo, but she doesn't really trust Charlie. So is it like, do you go with someone you don't know or someone you don't trust? One of the two. So Vaatu goes to tribal council first, and during that tribal council, Jeff is giving impressions of Jonathan, Colby, and Christian. And I gotta say, I was loving that. I know that some people were really annoyed with seeing how Jeff is behaving nowadays, but I don't mind it. Jeff is funny. Then when the votes came down, it was 5-1. Angelina is the next one voted out over Stephanie. And before Angelina left, she ends up giving her tribe her jacket, which was a full circle moment for Angelina. because normally she's the one asking for someone else's jacket, and this time she just gives her jacket to her tribe, which was beautiful. I love seeing that. How I feel about Angelina being voted out, to be honest, I actually liked her this season. It was a shame that she went out. I was kind of hoping it would rather be Ozzy or Emily, but I definitely think that Angelina has redeemed herself in some regard. And now we go to Sila's tribal council, where I guess Rizzo's trying to plead his case as to why he should stay, with the fact that he did play a loyal game in 49. And when the votes came down, it was a closer vote. 4-3. Charlie was the one voted out. And during his voting confessional, Rizzo starts throwing out Taylor Swift references toward Charlie's way. How I felt about Charlie getting voted out, I was honestly sad because, I rooted for him throughout 46, and I was hoping that he would go far in 50, but I did not like how he presented himself in the game. I definitely think he could have handled himself better, but he was so obsessed with what Rizzo said that one night that it just completely ruined his game. And so I definitely think that he had this coming. And now next week, we are going to see a merge with 17 people. I did not think the merge was going to be this early. I mean, Australian Survivor merges are not even this long, or they don't even have this many people. So I am very excited what they're going to show, because Jeff also said that there's going to be something that's going to change the game forever. And so, yeah, I definitely think the next episode is going to be a big one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.